line? And the answer that I remember, and I go way back a lot further than you guys did, is that the equation of the straight line I remembered was that y was equal to mx plus b, where m was the slope of that line. In other words, describing how steep the line was or how flat the line was, how quickly it was going uphill or downhill. And b was what we call the y-intercept, where the line cut across the y-axis. So in the previous slide, b is this particular point on the horizontal axis corresponding to the non-smokers. And the slope of this line is how quickly it's going uphill or going downhill. Mathematically, slope is described as the change in your y-axis per unit change in your x-axis. Well, if y is mortality rate, slope is a great measure of effect. It's saying how much your mortality rate is increasing, the difference in mortality rate, the increase in mortality rate. When you For that reason, regression coefficients are great measures of association, great measures of effect that we epidemiologists use. The formula won't be y equals mxb. It's going to be something like this. Mortality rate equals B0 plus B1 times the number of cigarettes you smoke. But B1 is going to be the slope. And measure how much your mortality rate is increasing when you increase your smoking level by 1 unit. So more about regression coefficients as measures of effect in the weeks that come. Well, I have talked too much. I think we have less than 5 minutes. Let me just turn to Erin and say, for the future, we have to allow more time for questions, but how's the best way to handle any questions now? Should people type something in?
I think that if anybody has any questions, you can go ahead and type them in the chat box, and then Fran, I guess if you could answer them in the order that they're received.
Okay. If you have no questions, hopefully you're still there. Remember, for next week, you're going to read maybe, so at least look them over. And I've given you some questions to think about when you're reading them. So as you do that, keep that in mind, and just try to think beforehand what these questions, the answers to these questions would be. Marjorie said that her formula for a straight line was the same as mine, y equals mx plus b. So life hasn't changed that much over time. We didn't hear what next week's assignment is. Okay, you cut out. Okay, I'll repeat it. What you're going to do is going to receive 4 papers from Erin this week. You're also going to receive a 1-page assignment to say, when you read these papers, think about the following questions. And if you can prepare answers to it beforehand, that's great. If you can only have enough time to read 1 paper, read 1 of those papers. But those will be the 4 papers that I'll be talking about next week to have 4 different study designs. Did everyone just hear that? If someone can just say they've heard it, that would be great. Okay, great. Hey, Rachel, how are you doing? So a name from the past. At least one of you I've had the honor of seeing before, besides the folks in Marjorie's group. Okay, great. Rachel, I'm doing well. Thank you. Erin, what do you think? Should I we cut off now? I'll turn to
Does anybody have any questions?
Okay, in the what we could all, I'd like to also do.
Okay, and
Erin, when we send out this next assignment, getting some feedback, I can. Let's also include my email address. So if anyone has any questions asking in the papers, they can also email them to me.
Okay.
And welcome to people to Alaska. I wish your governor luck in her coming election. But remember, Massachusetts is the bluest of all the blue states. So the majority of people here are probably rooting for the Democratic side of the ticket right now. But good luck to everyone. Epidemiology. That's a good question.
Okay.
Go ahead, Erin. I lost Erin.
Just before everybody signs off,
yeah, someone
did you
said,
receive a question?
could I recommend any textbook? Maybe I could come up with a little bit of a list to include in the email. That way we could look at. And I've used different books over the years. There's no one favorite, but I'll give you my thoughts on a few of them. We'll answer that by email. How's that? Okay. What are the odds of Tatum being in the White House? Well,
Sounds
that's
great.
very subjective, as someone said before. We'll know that before this course ends. Okay. So, Erin, is this it, or what?
Before everybody signs off, I just wanted to let you know that we have recorded this session, so we'll be sending out the link, and we'll also be sending out the link to people that weren't able to log on. So we'll be able to view the recorded session later.
And Erin,
And
can
I think
they hear
that's it
me
for us.
now too? Or did you? Okay, it looks like they can. The other thing we'd like to get some feedback on. It's not too early to change, not too late to change any of this. So give Erin your opinions of how you might like to change some of this. We're definitely open for minor tweaking, and maybe even for some major changes. Me talking less, me talking more on particular topics are all fair game to consider. So now that you see how the template would work with me talking, how can we improve this? So give Erin some feedback of how you might want to change things for next week, okay? And on that note, I'm going to shut up and let Erin turn everybody off. And Erin, should we hang on off record for a minute longer or what? Okay.
That sounds great. That sounds great. And Cheryl, I can talk with you offline about your question. I think that's all for us for this week. Thank you so much, everybody, and we will see you soon.
Have a great day.
Thanks, Fran.
On me? Erin and Marjorie, are you the only people hearing me, or is this still going across the whole?
It's still going across. I just wanted to thank you, Fran. That was a great job. And just to warn everybody, it sounds really simple the first lecture, but then Fran really gets into his, it all starts tying in together.
I agree. It's, hopefully each week will build on the previous. So if you found this a little too low, things will go a little deeper, but even people who found this at the right level, I think you'll understand things as we go through it. So let's see how this works. Okay.
I'm going to stop the recording now.